Hi, welcome everyone. We will just wait for a couple of minutes for everybody to gather, to log on and resolve some maybe last second technical issues. So just a couple of more minutes and then we'll start with the talk. Welcome to everyone joining us. I can see more and more people. We're just waiting for everybody else to join. Just a little bit more time. Welcome, everyone.
All right, we are almost closing in on time. Greg, what do you think? Is it a good time to start?
Yeah, maybe just one more minute. Okay, 46. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Hi, everyone. We were waiting for just a couple of minutes for everybody to log in, and just as I said that, the attendee list doubled. So I'll wait another probably 30 seconds, just in case somebody has last minute doubts about joining this amazing tech talk. Welcome everyone, and let's start. Hi everyone. Welcome to this tech talk. My name is Gregory. With me is Piyush, who is an engineering manager on my team, and we're very excited to have all of you here. Thank you very much for coming. Our topic today is Splunk Cloud Application Expert, and we also hope to have a very healthy Q&A session. I'm very interested in your questions and to have a conversation with you, specifically about Cloud Application Export, but also other Splunk application management topics. So please stick around till the Q&A at the end of this session, and we're very much welcome you to ask all of the questions that you might have. So I'm also looking at the attendee list. I don't think anybody anymore is joining, so let's roll. All right, so just as a little warm-up, what are you most excited to hear today? What are the topics that you expected to get from this? Piyush, I think we discussed this, right? We're both looking forward mostly to targeted app installation topic, but it would be very interesting to hear from our audience. So please,
Yep, absolutely.
Answer. Cool. Can you say something about targeted app install really quick?
Oh, yeah, I'm quite excited about that. This is something which has been going on in our engineering department for quite some time. As most of you know, we have a limitation on apps installation, like, or let's say a difference between the how apps are installed in classic architecture than compared to Victoria architecture in Splunk Cloud. And one of the key differences that when you install an application on, you know, Classic or in Victoria, it goes to all the searches. And we are trying to solve this problem. We are working on it for quite extensively, and that's always on top of our mind to make like targeted installations on a particular search head for on Victoria. We are not promising any dates here, but this is something that we have been working on, and this is something that has been quite exciting to us.
Cool. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see all of your answers. Let's move on with our application expert topic. So app expert, but why? Mostly what we thought about in terms of application export can be divided in three categories or three user stories, let's say. First one is understanding application data. So Splunk is very complicated product, and there's lots of things that you can do in your applications. Conf files are really huge, and even for most experienced admins, sometimes there's this question, how does this thing work, right? When I interact with it on the page, what does it really do on the conf file level? Did I do what I intended to do? These type of things. So for that purpose, AppExpert is a great choice. You can download your application locally, see all the conf files, just like you would be on-prem, learn everything there is to learn about your application, learn all of the changes that you did through the UI, what kind of consequences did that get, how did that transform into the conf files, into your application. So that's first use case. Second one is troubleshooting. With clearer view of what your app is and what its state is, cloud admins can now troubleshoot more effectively. We're well aware that it's a very popular request for cloud support, and lots of these were about troubleshooting. So there were people figuring out their apps and trying to fix the error of some kind or make it work with external provider of any kind, stuff like that. So we're very much encouraging you to use App Expert for this person as well. And third one is probably the one that I'm most excited about is change management. So both cloud admins and cloud developers can now make these changes in the UI, in their applications, and then use App Export to store those changes in whichever system that you prefer, whether you use Git, whether you use any other source control, however you interact with your team, and whatever your process with the team is. Now you have input for that process. We spoke to some customers that do like code review and some approval process on their applications when they develop them on their development stacks. And before putting that into production, somebody has to review that to meet any given kind of criteria and like check what's in there. You can do that with AppExpert. So these are the three main user stories that we wanted to tackle. And I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. I'm very interested in my career. I know I haven't probably mentioned this. I'm a very fresh in the Splunk, only 4 months. So I'm very excited to learn about our clients and meet all of you for the first time. For that, we have made a couple of questionnaires, such as this one. And the first question is, how would you rate your experience in software development? I really want to know like what's the audience that I'm talking to, and would be very curious. So going from 1, never written a line of code, not a software developer at all, and 5, being that I'm a professional software developer, written multiple languages, paradigms, what have you, right? So that would be very interesting to see that gradation of the attendees. I can see 14 of 52, 15 have submitted answers. I'm gonna wait here for 10 seconds for dramatic effect. Hopefully getting us more results.
Yeah. We're gonna put some kind of peer pressure on you, just looking at you like, are you taking it or not?
Yeah. There really should be elevator music at these moments. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so it's pretty equal, I should say. A little bit from every category, and that's very nice. Very nice to see. Welcome all. We'll try to make this equally useful for everyone, but it was very interesting to see this drill down. Another question that we wanted to ask is, what is your preferred way of installing apps in Splunk Cloud? Do you use the UI? Do you use ACS, CLI or API version of it? Do you file support requests with support, or do you use any other ways of
Magic.
doing this?
Yeah. I'm more
Magic.
interested in seeing the other part.
Right. Yeah. I was just actually going to say the same thing, right? So, like, if other, please let us know in the chat, what are you using and how's that working for you? Okay. 15 out of 56. Another elevator music pause. Or more answers. Thank you so much. Cool. All right, let's look at how that. Okay. UI wins for sure. ACS, be it endpoint or CLI 10%. No Splunk support requests. That's interesting. And 10% others. So you gotta tell us in the chat what's up with that. Like, how do you do this, right? Some magic, yes. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. The third one, and I promise the last one, is how would you rate your experience with source control? So starting with first is, what is source control? Never used it before, never heard that. And 5 is your ninja of Git. You know all the commands, use the CLI only, because graphical interfaces are not cool enough. And yeah. I'm just having a look on my Q&A comments. Cool. All right. Thank you so much for your answers. It makes total sense. Neutral. Okay, so again, pretty even breakdown. Happy to see lots of different people from like different technological background. That's very nice. Welcome. All right, so let's move on. Honestly, this feature is rather simple and short. So like, I'm very interested. This is why I'm asking lots of questions, because I'm very much interested in your input as well. But when it comes to app export, it really boils down to really a couple of steps. First one is update to the latest ACS CLI, be that you can also use API, we'll show it to you later on. Then prepare the list of applications to be exported. Then run the ACS app export command with that file list, and you're done. So let's do something with that. Let's install an application. I'm using ACS app install Splunk base command. to run my favorite app of all times, curl search. I started working for Splunk. That was the first app I installed. It's still my favorite one. Don't tell anybody else. Right. So now I have installed that application. I have written an export apps JSON with the list object, which says the app name curl search, the one that I just installed. And there's another one that I have, which is Splunk for Unix. So we're going to export ourselves those two applications. And then I run the command. The logs say app export complete. And there we go. So that's the result of it. Done and easy. Let me just have a look at the chat. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for your questions. I'm going to answer the Q&A in the end. Please keep them coming. Very, very welcome questions. And yeah, thank you so much. So I'm gonna get back to the presentation. Yeah, so that was it. That was frankly slightly boring. So let's do something more interesting. Let's do something more practical. I have renamed the old packages, the old tarballs into old underscore so that I know the new ones from the old ones. And let's do some important engineering with my favorite app. Let's run some curl commands to httpbin.org, get some very important engineering answers. Now that I've done that, I've done whatever work I was doing with my app. I want to share it with my team. I want to share it with somebody else. I want to get their opinion, or I want to give them the dashboard that I've used to observe very important data. HTTP bin is very important, so let's save that. And now that I've done that, let's run ACS app export yet again. Now we can run diff between the unpackaged old repository, the repository from the older tarball, and the newer one, and we can see the difference. So it says only in curl search users. So given that information, you can now look at those files, see what's changed, study them, make your choices, make your investigation in those files. Yeah, fix the errors that you have found, or do some investigation. All right, so that's it. You can learn from how the apps are built, your own or somebody else's. This functionality is also available to you through ACS API. So if you don't want to use CLI for whatever reason, you can use the API. This page is on our documentation page, so there's a bit of authorization that you have to use there, but it's just as simple. And yeah, that's it. So a couple of details regarding application export that you need to know is questions that we can foresee being asked. The first one is UI integration. So it's not yet there, but it will be. We're looking to update ACS helper application first, and then maybe the Splunk product itself to have application export built in to the page. You can, yeah. So currently, you can also, when exporting the app, default files will be a part of that package, but the local subdirectory will remain unsupported for now. All the applications exported with local configs will not be immediately uploadable to Splunk. So if you want to re-upload that app again and install it, you will have to remove the local subdirectory from it to pass app inspect. Some of the information in your application will be redacted. So the app expert will detect the passwords and all sorts of sensitive information in your app, and that will not be exported for security purposes. You can use search head targeting. So if you have 2 or more search heads, if you run that command that we've just shown you, it will export multiple of the applications, so not one but more packages in all the different versions, in all different states, I should say, as it is on different search heads. If you want, you can search a specific target search head and choose from there. So far, we support Splunk-based apps, and we support private apps developed by customers. Some default apps, such as search, will allow you to export portions of it, but not other portions. So you will be able to export app local, user app local, but not default files for apps such as search. At the moment, we do not support export from premium apps like ES or ITSI, but I would be very, very interested in your use cases if you're looking for that. If you expect that to happen, please do tell us how would you use that? What would be your flow of that information once you've exported it? And everything that I've just mentioned will obviously be looking in implementing later on if we see sufficient interest in it. So please do let us know your preferences. And yeah, that will be it. Now is Q&A time, and I will address the Q&A section. And please keep them coming. It's very, very welcome to have those questions and hear from you more. First one says, "Go do some magic." That's good. A CS endpoint is great, but the permissions management is limiting, especially when you can't deploy the local meta. Okay, that's an interesting comment. I would be very much interested to hear in which use case would you be doing that, and yeah, if you can ask another question, Alex, or yeah, that would be really interesting. Another question is regarding Splunk Packaging Toolkit. I've used Splunk Packaging Toolkit a few times, but I've had Python errors, so I've given up manually packaging it. Is there a better way coming? Yes.
I can take that question, Greg, if you want. Or
yeah, take it away.
Yeah, Martin. Yeah, so Splunk Packaging Toolkit is something that has not been updated in, I believe, in 4 years or so. Both me and Greg are new comparatively in app deployment and app management space, and this has been in our radar to get the latest version out. So it's just that we have multiple things going at the same time parallel, but that doesn't mean that it has lost traction from us. And please expect an update coming to the PyPy package for Slim, and sooner or later it will be working on all the different environments that you guys are using it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Piyush. Another question has come in. Says, any plans to support Terraform provider for app export and deployment? Yes, we do have these plans. Let me just answer this. Okay, so speaking about that, we definitely have plans to support more application lifecycle operations in our Terraform provider for Splunk. That's coming. I can't name dates at the moment, but we're going to be looking into increasing the amount of things you can do there with apps for sure. Regarding the application export, I don't know, to be honest, seeing as Terraform is like more of a stateful, um, I don't know, it's like stateful paradigm. I'm not sure if I can imagine how app export looks in Terraform, but yeah, please again, you can ask more questions and tell us how were you planning to use that in Terraform. That's very interesting. So thank you for the question, and I'll type in the answer for those who. Um,
Those questions could be not just with App Export, guys. Both me and Craig, we are part of our app deployment team in general. So we want to know what and how you're using the app installation deployment framework in this process. And that's the reason we were asking all these, general purpose questions. So if you have any questions which are not directly with this topic related, but they are apps related in Splunk Cloud, we will be more than happy to take them as well.
Okay. Does ACS work with ITSI search head? You should help me out here. If you mean ACS as ACS specifically to export or ACS in general. So ACS in terms of export will not work on ITSI search head because it's a private, it's a premium application, I should say. But ACS should work with premium search heads unless Piyush wants to correct me.
I think the question is more like if we can target the premium search head through ACS. As far as I know, it should be possible, but this is something a question to be to the ACS team. And if we can get back to you and we'll keep a note of it and we can check with the ACS team and get back to you on that as well. But last I checked with them, I think we are able to target premium search head.
All right. Piyush, can you read the next one and I'll type the answer to the previous one?
Yeah, sure. So I see that Jim is asking, what would be considered your best idea for recording the steps and exports such that we as agency might record this to train new team members going forward? For example, the data and the query you need. What methods might you use to record training document for the new team members? Okay. Best ideas. We definitely, I think if I get the question correctly, it's more about onboarding onto new capabilities or including like app export. If you have a new team member joining your team or your organization, we are trying to get better at it, to be honest with you, Jim. And at this moment we have a blog, we are creating blogs around it, we are creating some user guides around it, not just having this, for the sake of a not a better word, not just having the traditional documentation, but trying to make them as much exciting as possible. And hopefully those blogs and those guides can become part of your training material when someone new joins in your organization. uh, it's more of an ongoing process. Particularly from app deployment side, we are trying to get these things on board, and Craig is quite, excited to, take these challenges as well. And that's the reason we are having this call, just to, check the pulse of our customer. And it's not just about app export; it's about everything apps in general as well.
Yeah.
I can also take the question from, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, rereading that question and thinking that, well, frankly, as I mentioned in the beginning, like app export is definitely something we build also for learning purposes. So being very new to Splunk, I use it literally every day and learn something new about how apps work. So that's also something that, we encourage people to use in their onboarding to Splunk or onboarding their new team members to Splunk. More questions? Will
Yeah,
lookups
I
be
can take
included?
these two, if it's okay with you, Craig. So,
Yeah.
Elise, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. There are two questions here. The first one is, will lookups be included in the download or in the export result? Yes, they will be, and that is one of the big use case for app export in general, where we our customers want to keep track or at least keep some snapshots of the lookups that they have been creating and updating over the period of time. Your second question is about the ACS syntax. Like if you want to only export the confs, and when we say confs, it could be like your local, your default, and your user folder. And it's a really, really good use case because right now, app export is more like downloading the data, and you might not want to download the everything that your apps contains. Sometimes in the apps like NLTK or some other Python packages that we have, they have like GBs of applications. You might not be interested in getting all those binaries to you. So there is a parameter, query parameter called confs underscore only. And if you set that to true, it will only export the configurations. So when we say configurations, it's like the local folder, your default folder, and your user folder. And it will skip over everything else, all the binary files of your application. I hope that answers the question. Cool.
Yeah, I typed that out. All right. Thank you so much for your questions. We have plenty of time left. This, as mentioned, is quite a basic functionality in itself. There's not much to show, but there's lots of things you can do with it, and we are very excited to see how people are using this. How to set up ACS service in one server. I'm not sure about how to
By one
use ACS.
server, Jayanta, do you mean on-prem, or is it more about a single search head instance of Splunk Cloud? Okay, we can take this question over the email as well. That should be fine.
Yeah, sure. Any plans to publish standard GitHub repo and GitHub Action to manage GitHub Actions and administrative aspects of Splunk Cloud, or may some already exist? Yes, we do have a plan to do that. And it's, in fact, like I'm working on the discovery piece for that. I would be very, very interested as what would you see useful in such a GitHub repo, or some examples, like equivalents. Where have you seen that in different technologies and find it useful? So that would be very interesting to learn. But we're definitely thinking about integration with Git and learning about how our clients. This is why I included that question about knowledge of what's the word that I'm looking for? Source control, right? Knowledge of source control, because we are investigating how to best build that into the integrations with Splunk.
Cool.
So please do reach out to us if you have any more questions over the email or on our the ideas page. I should say that this is one of the most voted ideas on our idea tracker, and that's where we got it from. We're very much paying attention to that. As a PM, I do pay attention to that page. So if you have any more ideas, please use idea tracker to communicate that to us, or just reach out to Piyush or myself via email or using any other channels.
Sure.
There's another question that we have. Okay, cool. So I think we're we're about done with the questions from our attendees. Thank you so much for attending. Okay, we got a bit of a clarification regarding the previous one. We are managing everything using GitLab for managing indexers, apps, hack tokens, etc. using GitLab via GitLab, but moving to GitHub, so standard pipelines will help a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Samandi, for the comment. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
This solidifies our belief in the direction that we are taking. And yeah, this is something that we have been working on, at least from the early point of view. So thank you so much for the comment. Yeah. Okay. Guys, the Q&A that we have in this event, you can keep on putting your questions there. Even if we don't respond to them right now, they are getting tracked, and we will definitely reach out to you in any other asynchronous manner. So yeah, please keep them coming.
We're gonna wait for a couple of, I don't know, if there's any more questions, and if not, we'll be wrapping up this talk, seeing as it's relatively simple topic. So unless there are any more questions, I think that would be it. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. Thank you for your questions. Please reach out with any more questions to myself and Piyush. We're happy to take that forward, and we are very happy to see interest in this area in application management at Splunk. Lots of cool things are in the pipeline. We're excited to talk to you more on next Tech Talks, hopefully with longer Tech Talks with more slides and more interesting things to show you. And yeah, see you next time on the next Tech Talks. There are some additional resources you can see in the presentation. So there is a blog post covering what I was just addressing with Piyush, and some other topics that you might be interested in. So those are links, you can interact with them on the PDF. Please reach out to the community splunk.com. And that's all. Thank you so much. Please do use our Tech Talk survey. Tell us about your impressions about the talk. And thank you very much.
Thanks all. Have a good day.